Ah, good evening. Um, w- Wait a minute. You're human? I don't believe we allow human guests. I mean, last I checked. Uh, Give me a minute. There's no reservation for any humans or any, well, flesh based life forms. Um, oh, my apologies. Um, I am this, well, you can call it a hotel, but I call it an establishment for cosmic entities. Oh, I would say humans are other life forms, but this is for cosmic deities. You know, ones with celestial powers and ones that typically take on more monstrous forms. But I will say that your people, I mean, not to sound mean or anything, but you sound and look pretty normal. I mean, normal here is multiple eyes with no mouth and speaking telepathically, but your race of cosmic deities is human, and I find them to be kind of fascinating. Well, you make decisions, you have the properties to lie, you have the properties to do as you please within physical limits, but your race always kind of intimidates me. Well, you never know. What I mean by that is you never know if you have the insane one. I mean, you made it here, and this is not a place where humans can reach. I don't know how you could have gotten here. Do you perhaps know someone of higher power? Hmm. Did you perhaps pass away? Hmm. Well, if it's any consolation, I think it's best I find you a room as soon as possible. Because some of the creatures here are not too fond of creatures with limits. I think that's a nicer way of putting it compared to how they would say it. But I'll book your room, and one that isn't booked for a few centuries. Yes, there are some guests who stay here for centuries, if not, well, hundreds and maybe thousands of years. There was one recently who only stayed here for 2 years, which to us is basically a couple hours. Years for us are basically days. Anyways, besides the concept of time in this realm, would you like anything special to your room? Yes, like a window of another galaxy, maybe a bed made of certain materials, or hmm, do you have a thing of ginormous fish-like creatures in fish tanks? Hmm. Okay, well, maybe it's best I don't add this one. Well, we have the world serpent in what do you people call it? A zoo, I believe. But he just stays there for however long he pleases. It's basically his room. Anyways, let me take you to just a. Well, for you it's a regular room, but for us it's a little bit weird. Anything normal to you is considered a little bit odd for us. But it will have cloth sheets. Just the thought of sleeping in a regular bed just discomforts me. But it will have wooden furniture and a window of a. I think yours is the Milky Way galaxy, if I do believe so. But I will take you to your room right away. It's. Ah, sorry. My Eldritch tongue is a little bit off. Anyways, it's room 024. Well, there are a number of floors because it goes to a large number of floors. Well, the general number would be infinite. Oh, we have a number of rooms for a number of creatures. Not just celestial deities, more like creatures that can speak, move around, and think for themselves. Which is for you, but every Eldritch deity doesn't talk fondly of you. No, not just you, like all humans. I don't know what their grudge is. I mean, as I said, I find you fascinating, but I do find you intimidating to think for yourselves. You also don't really abide by the laws of law. Well, you kill, you steal, and do a number of things. Eldritch deities do that on occasions, but it's only once in every thousands of years when they think that someone should be no longer running it or be in the position that they're in. Anyways, if I talk about this more, then this would go on for days for you, but minutes for me. But here's your room. And keep in mind that this room doesn't have a key. It knows who you are just by reading your thoughts, or I would say looking at you, but I wouldn't want to disturb you, and that's not entirely true. But please, after you. Is there anything else you would like? You have a wide range of foods, drinks, and we even bring in plants on occasions. Oh, yes, you won't believe the types of plants we have. There are some with fangs, some with tentacles, but we call them appendages. And there are some that are not plants at the same time. More like, well, they look like me. Smoke emerging from dust and dirt to make pictures of any kind. I know it sounds a little disturbing, but it's actually kind of nice. But any of those I can arrange for you. I mean, we can cook anything. You think it, it's most likely that the cook already knows it. Hmm. Okay. And anything else? Okay. Um, if I were you, I would just stay here. Again, not too many creatures around here are fond of humans, but just take your time staying here until things get figured out. I know some people who are pretty friendly around your people, but anyways, they'll find a way for you to get back. In the meantime, why don't you rest? Most of your stuff will be dropped off, well, right beside your door when you wake up, and I can guarantee you no one will, well, tell on you towards other unfriendly beings or do anything cruel. But, anyways, I should leave. Hmm? What do you mean? Wait, you're saying I should stay? Are you sure? And you don't find me in any way intimidating or strange? Hmm. Very well. Well, if you make me stay here longer, then that means the more you'll be delayed to getting home sooner. Okay. Well, maybe I can help you sleep a little bit more. I've been told I have ways of making people fall asleep a little easier, but in all fairness, I think that's another way of them saying I'm boring. But let's get inside. Anyways, you might want to lay down. Well, I've been told if people stand around me for a little bit too long, they start to feel a little bit anxious. No, when I say people, I don't mean humans. I mean other deities. I feel like it's a nicer way of calling them. Because they're not fond of the word deities either. They always have this weird superiority complex where they say we're more intelligent, we're more powerful, we know more, or a number of other things, but I believe everything and every, well, you get the point I'm trying to make. Everything and everyone has their limits. But I'd rather just see everyone as, well, friendly until otherwise hostile. Like you haven't done anything outwardly stupid or insane. Which I hope it stays that way. Good. But if you don't mind, I'm gonna sit down and hopefully you can sleep. Hmm. Forgot how comforting these chairs were. I mean, I haven't sat down in, I believe, decades. Well, I mean, look at me. Do I look like someone who needs to sit down? Hmm. There are some who do get tired, and some who don't, and some who sleep, some who don't. I mean, you'd be surprised for how long Cthulhu's been sleeping. But I think you already know about it. I mean, no one truly does know what Cthulhu is, besides an eldritch horror. But no one ever speaks to it, communicates, or even confronts it. I mean, I'm sure you've heard rumors of what Cthulhu can do to a number of things, or people in general. It's not a nice sight. No pun intended. but he's done worse things, trust me. It's always the talk of the day. But you should sleep. I don't know why you persist in not sleeping. Is there something wrong? I see. Well, if you need me to help you in any way, I have a few methods. Let me take off my gloves real quick. Yes, I don't have real hands. It's just a way of having me touch things without worrying others. But try touching it. See how your hand goes right through mine? Mm-hmm. But if I just gently put my hand on your forehead, doesn't it make you feel a little bit calmer? Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the things of why people say I make them a little bit tired. But trust me, if you slowly close your eyes, my hands will do their work and you'll be asleep in about a few minutes, I would say. But it's okay. Sleep easy. I'm sure you'll be back to where you were last you can remember before you wake up. And don't worry. This will all feel like a weird, really odd dream. But if you ever want to come back here, just try and think of me, and I might come back to you in some shape or form. I mean, I know it's a little hard to think of me because thinking of me is like thinking of a chimney, but I'm sure that's all it takes. Oh, trust me, every creature knows when you're thinking of it. Oh, yeah, that's how we can detect others when they're scared of just thinking of us. But close your eyes, and you'll be home by tomorrow. Or as soon as you wake up from your gentle, easy rest. Sleep well. You deserve a rest from all the scariness that you've seen. But good night.